James Chambers, obviously it's an extremely disappointing result, but I mean the conditions meant that St Pat's couldn't play the football they like to play.
Yeah, I think we knew as soon as we came up here that the conditions weren't going to allow us to play the game we wanted to play, especially in the first half. They got the goal, it was a little bit of a mistake on our behalf, but we went in at half time, we held it to 1-0 at half time. Probably the better side, we had better chances in the first half, just unfortunately we didn't get a goal, and then we thought we were going to be a little bit better in the second half, and it just wasn't to be for us. We just couldn't play our game, but there's nothing to take away from Rovers. They won the game and they dealt with the conditions a little bit better.
It's a poor start, but I mean St Pat's must definitely still be targeting big things this season.
Yeah, of course, everyone wants to get off to a nice start. It's not a great start. We've been beaten. There wasn't an awful lot in the game, I didn't think. So look, there's still another 32 games. We can't throw the toys out of the pram here. We got beaten. It's our first game. We'll bounce back next week.
And you've come back to Tallaght again, and it's always an interesting reception when you come back to the St Pat's player at Tallaght Stadium.
Yeah, it's always interesting. To be honest, I don't really care what anybody says to me off the pitch. It doesn't really bother me. I'm disappointed with the result, and we'll be back in tomorrow morning and we'll try and put things right for next week.
And yourself personally, you're looking probably the best shape of your life at the moment, and I mean it looks like this has been a particularly vigorous pre-season for yourself.
Really, everybody's been saying that to me. I think I did an article a couple of weeks ago saying that I did a bit of work with the strength and conditioning coach in the off season. I'm probably about 2 kilos off where I was before, and people are saying I've lost loads of weight. I don't really. I let people do an awful lot of talking for me. I don't really care. I'm my harshest critic, and that's me. Disappointed with the result tonight, but like I said, we'll go again in the morning.
And finally, looking at it today, you mentioned the conditions, but also the pitch. I mean, the way St Pat's like to play their football, like we say, I mean, it was essentially impossible for them at this point, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it was difficult for us to play around football, but the teams know how to deal with us when we're playing football now, so we need to adapt and try and play a different way and find a way to win in the game. That's what it is. If everybody knows how we're going to play, it's up to us then to go and win the game a different way. Unfortunately, the pitch and the conditions didn't allow, but that's no excuse.
Alright, thank you very much. Danny North couldn't ask for the more perfect debut, a win, man of the match and a goal.
Yeah, that's it. It was important to get off to a great start as a team. Personally, to get a goal on your debut was something I've not done before, and in a Dublin derby against your old team, don't get much sweeter.
It's not exactly one of those games that's going to be getting anyone off their bar stools, though.
No, it's not, of course not, but you look at the conditions and it was atrocious at times, but we managed the game better than them, and it proved because we come away with the 3 points.
You mentioned managing the game. I mean, you look at the likes of Patrick Craig, and so they seem to win that midfield battle against James Chambers.
Yeah, they did, and like I say, a lot of credit goes to them, because that's where games are won and lost, in the middle of the park. But you look at every one of the players, the will to succeed and the will to win, and the battling we did was unbelievable, and there's not much more you can say. It was a tough game, but we managed to come out on top. And
a great start for Shamrock Rovers, obviously, to come out on top in such a tough game. And I mean, it's the way you start as you mean to go on.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the first game, you're never going to be up to scratch, and obviously the conditions played the part. But it was important we got off to a win today, and the clean sheet will do us wonders as well.
And here at Shamrock Rovers now at Tallaght, huge expectations for the year back in Europe and everything. I'd say you're relishing this challenge.
Yeah, of course you are. You want to be playing for the best clubs, and I feel I've joined the best club. Europe on the agenda as well come the summer, but got a lot of league games between now and then.
And finally, we're talking about Shamrock Rovers and stuff. I mean, you've come to Tallaght as a visiting player before. What's it like to be in that home dressing room? I'd say it's very weird, having played for 2 massive rivals of the club.
Yeah, that's it. We trained here the other day, and I'm not going to lie, I walked to the opposite way once to the away change room, and I'm not even thinking. But no, I'm here now, and it's an unbelievable club to be at, and to get off the mark, and hopefully with the team we've got, there's no reason why we won't be up there challenging.
Thank you very much. Tim, unfortunately you weren't involved tonight, but a great start for Shamrock Rovers to the season.
Yeah, brilliant start for the lads. You geared up all pre-season, 7 long weeks there, and put a lot of work in the lads, and obviously the conditions tonight, as you've seen yourself, weren't ideal, but it's the perfect start for us, a clean sheet and a win to get the ball rolling.
Obviously you weren't necessarily playing tonight, but you are back playing now, and you're back with Pat Fenlon as well.
Yeah, it's been I've had a frustrating maybe 2.5 years now with injuries, and had a bad one in the last season at St Johnstone. I ruptured my Achilles, but that's behind me now, and thankfully Pat showed a bit of faith in me again and brought me in, and obviously I can get fitter again, which I will do, and hopefully push for a place then in the coming weeks.
How have you found this whole League of Ireland experience so far?
It's very good. Yeah, the club in itself is it's run very professionally. You do the best obviously they can, which is the standard that I've been playing at anyway, like the facilities and the care we get in training, after training, etc. I was in the start of the last pre-season as well, when Trevor was manager here, so I knew quite a lot of lads anyway. So it's good. I want to just get started now, and hopefully in the coming weeks to contribute and maybe get some game time as well.
How different has Pat been this time around than when you would have been at Hibernian?
He's been very the same. He's the exact same, more or less. He's a positive manager, and there's no back doors, and he tells you exactly how it is, which is the way you want it to be. And he's got a good working relationship with all the players, and he had at Hibs as well. So that's why I think this season we've got high expectations.
And you got your taste of silverware at St Johnstone that year, and I mean it's the sort of thing that Shamrock Rovers are constantly gunning for. I mean, they're a huge club in Ireland. Let's say you're excited for the prospect of it looks like something that Shamrock Rovers could do is win medals this year.
Well, that's our goal set out at the start of the season, is to compete in the league, aim to win the league as well, and win every competition we're in. Obviously that's going to be a very difficult ask, but that's what, as the gaffer said, it's the biggest club in Ireland. That's what we aim for, and that's what the plans are for the end of the season.
And finally, you're going to be getting your chance to play in Europe as well in a few months. I mean, there's obviously a lot of league games to go until then, but I'd say you're excited at actually getting to take that chance when you would have been injured at Hibs, and then you would have had left St Johnstone when they'd won the cup as well. I mean, you're going to get the experience of playing European football.
Yeah, it's another thing that's further down the line. As you said, there's a lot of games to play between now and then, and obviously I want to try and get myself as fit as I can, get in the team, and come the European games I'm in the team, fair enough. But it's another big occasion for the players to look forward to, and it's another competition that we'd like to do as well as we can and try and replicate the lads from a few years ago that got to the group stages.
Yeah, thank you. Had a huge result tonight, especially considering the conditions were awful for the majority of the game.
Yeah, we played the conditions better than them. Felt first half, obviously we had the win, so we were well on top. Felt we dominated the game first half. They had a couple of breaks, but apart from that, I felt all the play was in there. They're the defensive third and they're the attacking third, so we were really happy coming in at half time. Maybe if you've been critical, probably should have maybe try get another before half time. Second half, listen, the lads defended well, defenders won the headers. Myself and Max were just in there to win second balls, and the lads in front of us worked very hard as well, so they all done really well, and a great save from the keeper in the last minute. And
Danny North, he's the kind of player who he literally had like one chance the whole game, and he was going to tuck that one away.
Yeah, he's been on fire in pre-season. I think he got 4 and 6, so listen, he just brought that into it. He works hard.
Yeah.
People think I don't know. I never knew him before. He came here, and the thing I've noticed about him is he works hard. His hold-up play is not bad either, and good player to have. When you've got a striker that you can play off, it helps the team. It gets you up the park. You can bounce the ball off him, and if he can hold it in, it gets the defence up the park and gets the midfield up the park for second ball. So really impressed with him, but impressed with his work rate more than anything.
It must feel like you're back in Scotland. You got Pat Fenlon managing, you got Tim Clancy playing for you as well, is it?
Yeah. Well, obviously. Tim's a good friend of mine, so Tim's going to be a great signing for me. I think Tim will be one of the best centre backs in the league, so I think he'd be a good signing, yeah.
And Rovers, obviously last season you would have come in at a point where there was, besides the League Cup final you would have played, and there was very little opportunities for Rovers to gain silverware, but I mean it looks like an extremely strong squad this year and an extremely successful manager. It looks like everything's possible.
Yeah, listen, that's the aim, is to win whatever we're in, and the demands are on us to win every game, so that's what we're going to try to do. We've got a decent squad, yeah.
And finally, what did you make of this pre-season? I mean, considering you would have, obviously you would have trained with St Johnstone, I believe, during their pre-season last year, but I mean, what was the League of Ireland pre-season like for you?
Yeah, it's obviously longer. It's just it's hard for lads. Obviously we only get paid 42 weeks of the year over here, so that's quite tough, going 10 weeks without without getting paid. But no, I enjoyed the pre-season. Obviously towards the end you get sick of it because
you just want the ball out.
And you just want the proper game, you know, we are. So yeah, it's maybe a bit long, but listen, I'm not going to complain how long it is, as long as we're getting paid. I don't really care how long it is. They can make it 12 weeks. If we get paid for the other 6 weeks, I'll willingly do it. You know, I love football, so it doesn't bother me in the slightest, but obviously you want the real games to start playing.
Perfect, thank you very much. Pat Fenlon, it's the perfect start to the season in the most imperfect conditions.
Yeah, it was a tough night for everybody, players, supporters, everybody. But look, we got to play them, that's the way it is, you know. But I thought we adapted better tonight. I thought we adapted really well to the game, and you know, first half I thought we passed the ball well, but I thought second half as well we defended really well and counter-attack quite good. So no, delighted with the performance and delighted with the 3 points.
I mean, it wasn't exactly the kind of game that was going to get anyone off their bar stools coming into matches, but I mean, it was a very, very important 3 points for Shamrock Rovers against probably one of the teams who will be up there challenging towards the end of the season as well.
Yeah, of course they will. They're a good side. I don't know, there's looked like a healthy crowd to me, and you know, we're delighted to have a big crowd again here, you know, and hopefully now we can start winning some matches and get the place, you know, filling up again. That's the important thing. But I think what they've seen tonight, you know, probably not great, loads of great football on show, but you know, they've seen a team that worked really hard for each other, defended really well, looked together, you know, good shape about it. So no, real plays for the players, because they've worked, you know, we've had 7 weeks hard pre-season and they've worked really hard to get themselves into great condition. And again, you know, when you get off to a start like that, 3 points against a big team, like you say, it's a big bonus for us.
Pat Craig obviously was one of the bright sparks in what wasn't a hugely entertaining and flair-filled fixture. I mean, and he came in and he started well against Longford last year, but I mean he struggled to fully adapt to coming back to Ireland, and now he looks like he's going to be one of your most important players this year. Yeah,
well, I think the case with Patrick last year was that he probably, you know, pre-season he was off in Scotland, and obviously, you know, he probably his fitness levels where they are now. He's worked really hard like the rest of them for 6 or 7 weeks, and he's in great condition, you know, so that helps when you're at that level of fitness, you know. It helps to get around the pitch, particularly playing central midfield, you know. But I thought it was immense again for us tonight.
You brought in Gareth permanently and Tim Clancy as well. It must feel like you're back in Scotland.
Yeah, no, delighted. Obviously Tim, you know, Hibbs went through a lot of injury stuff, and he's come in here and we give him a little chance to get himself playing again. That's what it's about for Tim, is to make sure he gets himself fit. He's on the right road at the moment. You know, he needs to get himself fit and get himself playing. And Gareth is a young player that I like. You know, I've had Gareth at Hibbs, and I think he's got ability and quality. I think he'll get better the older he gets. I think he's learning the game. Great work, great honestly. And both of them will be good signings for us.
There are a few signings this year that some would have said that were like the likes of David Webster, where it's an interesting signing. And I mean, those are the sort of players that Shamrock Rovers want to have, especially because he'd be that perfect bridge between this kind of player that the first division team would have been signing last year and the first team would have been signing last year. I mean, he seems like a young player who's ready to play in the Premier Division.
Well, I think, you know, what we looked at was the squads. We've had a lot of big name players here over the last couple of seasons that haven't delivered, you know, and it was important that we brought some young hungry players in as well, with the real good professionals that we have brought in, you know. So it's getting that balance right of hungry people and I think once you've got good senior pros with them, then it's a good blend.
And the suspensions are going to stop harassing you so far. I mean, you're going to have the likes of Keith Fahey and Stephen McPhail back very soon, and they're going to be hugely influential for your Shamrock Rovers team this year. Yeah,
it's great to have them all back. We only one missing next week, I think, is Gavin Brennan. The other four are back, Barty and Ryan Brennan, you know. So, and like you say, Stephen and Keith. So delighted to have them back. Gives me a bit of a headache, you know, with the performance from the boys tonight. But that's the type of headache you want.
And you mentioned Barry, it's going to be tough for him to get his place back after that save from Craig earlier on, isn't it?
Yeah, well, look, it's like that for everybody. It's competition for places, and they all know that. They know that, you know, you go in and play well and it's difficult to shift you, so it's important, you know, it is as a group, you know, you win things as a group and you lose as a group, but you know, we can't ask any more from the players tonight. They were brilliant.
And finally, you know, when you look at the squad of players, I mean, even with the amount of suspensions you had, you were missing your two probably your marquee names in McPhail and Fahey, as well as the likes of Ryan Brennan, Gavin Brennan, etc. I mean, it showed the strength and depth that it looked like one of the better first team squads, regardless of the suspensions were out. Looking at your first team today,
well, I think we tried to build it. Like I said, we've changed a lot of players from last year, and I try to get the balance right of you know, good senior professionals, which we have, and young hungry players, and that's what we've got. So, you know, it looks like a good blend at the moment. But look, we're not getting carried away. It's one win, 3 points, great 3 points for us to start the season.
Right, thank you very much.